Okay, I see. Okay.
All right, everybody take your seats. Everybody chill out. We're gonna have an all right time. We're here together to have a good time.
Can you like make sound effects while you're reading it? Kind of like really.
I don't think you
Jesus
want
Christ.
the sound effects for this.
I feel like I really do.
Oh God,
Oh, there it is. There it is. God
Okay,
damn
now
it.
that.
All right,
Holy
sit down, a-hole. Sit down.
Why was that readily... Why was that so ready? Jesus Christ.
I mean, we did come to this erotic.
I'm a big
book
sound
reading,
effects
so-
guy. So we're gonna go a little farther into the story because there's a lot of exposition. This isn't a quick read. This is a read you pick up over multiple days, so on and so forth. So we're gonna get to where the things get.
Hey, ma'am,
interesting.
you want to sit here?
Hey, Mattia. You can sit down here with me.
Hey.
Holy shit! Maria got off duty for us.
God,
By
I
us.
did. I
Some
love
erotic
you
booty.
so much, Mattia.
I was about to say by us, I mean Mattia.
I came here for you.
All right. So let me make sure we're at a good spot. Oh yeah, this is gonna get erotic immediately. This is gonna be great.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
You're gonna
goddamn,
get
all
what
right.
you came
I don't
for.
want a
You
bag
were
of shit.
warned 3 times, most of you. Some just 2. All right. Going to bed, I reviewed my plans for the upcoming week. Unfortunately, my job still beckoned, but I should still get in plenty of work time each evening, 4 to 5 hours at least. My bed was lonely. I missed Karen. I found myself stroking an erection, almost laughing. I didn't masturbate more than a couple times a week, often less, but the recent spate of sexual escapades had me hard as a rock, without my new playmate to take care of things. The room was warm from the heat of the fireplace. I pulled the covers aside and closed my eyes, remembering. I could almost feel her stroking me, sliding her warm mouth over my cock. I've done this once before. The feeling was incredible, tingling, setting my nerves on fire. I looked down at my hardness, standing tall, basking in the feeling of running up and down my shaft. I grabbed the second pillow, putting it behind my head, propping myself up. I was getting close. So close. With a gasp, I bolted upright. I was being stroked. But it wasn't me. It wasn't anybody. I was alone in bed, but I had felt it, a smooth, soft movement up and down my length. I looked around, doubting my own senses. Then, it started again, a tingling feeling that set the hair on my legs to standing on end. A soft movement up and down my rod. He called it a rod. It wasn't a stray breeze or some other oddity. It was clearly a stroking. I gazed down between my legs. I didn't see anything at first, and then I noticed the skin on my shaft was shifting up and down with the movement. Was I crazy? Was I dreaming? What the hell was going on? The feeling was intense, and I felt a new pressure on the head and closing it without warning. I felt the urge to come burst upon me, and I groaned as I exploded. It was powerful, and my hips bucked against the invisible force, spasm after spasm of pleasure emptying me. Yet, when it was over, I looked down at my wilting cock to see it was dry and clean. No evidence of what just happened. Now, I didn't believe in ghosts or spirits or succubi or any other supernatural visitor, but my brain was short-circuiting, and I had no explanation for what had just happened. Suddenly, I was clammy, cold. I pulled the covers up and huddled underneath them. It took me forever to get to sleep. That's where I'm at. That was my excerpt. I could read on, but I mean...
No, please continue, Craig.
Are you
He
shitting
got
me?
his
You guys are
genius
into
man
this?
from a ghost.
Jesus
I mean, the room
Christ.
You're doing good.
I mean, god damn, are you sure it's not like a dream or something?
We
Because
can-
how the hell does a ghost get someone's
I
thing?
mean-
It's like
Oh,
that?
you mean
It
you
would
guys
have
are
to be
into
a
this
dream
story?
because-
All right.
It's like a Phantom Man job.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
understand how this is
kinda,
working. I need
except-
more in-depth detail, please.
Okay,
I mean,
so...
except
Story?
the ghost,
Maybe a
the ghost
demonstration?
swallowed those. The ghost swallows. He doesn't spit, so it makes no sense.
Oh, God.
we'll skip
But
forward
where does
here.
it go? The ghost doesn't have like a body, so like, does it just
Exactly,
fall
I
onto the
don't
floor?
All right, children.
I mean, it's a good
We
point.
don't know. We've got to figure that
Where does it
out.
go?
All right, so
Maybe
so
he went to
all
the
you need to
dream
know-
of Freddy Krueger.
all you need to know is he spent the rest of the day thinking about it. He's in doubt. Is it a dream? Was that real? He's not sure. He just gets back to working on the house. He wants to make it good. He wants to make it ready for when his kind of acquired...
Ghost comes back for round 2.
We'll go with that for now since, you know. Okay, so...
Jesus Christ.
Now he's done. The day's over. So we are continuing on. When I finally retired to my room, it was well after midnight. I put on a pair of boxers and climbed under the covers. I kept my hand clear of my waist in case playing with myself had been a catalyst to whatever the hell happened. I felt foolish, more convinced than ever that my mind was just playing tricks on me. I fell asleep easier than I would have thought possible. It was cool in the room. I was slowly waking to that same wondrous feeling. My covers had been pushed aside, and my cock was sticking up out of the fly in my boxers, hard and happy. I almost leaped out of the bed when I recognized the stroking from the night before. I reached my hand down to see if I could feel anything, but there was nothing to feel. Moving my hand up and down, I sensed the same tingling, almost like static electricity, and the hair on my arm stood up. When I pulled my hand away, the tingling went away, but the feeling surrounding my cock lingered. And, if anything, intensified. What the fuck? What was happening to me? Inwardly, I knew I should be concerned, but I felt nothing but pleasure. I wasn't scared. I wasn't even nervous. I was being pleasured, being tended to with gentleness. I moaned. The intensity was as strong as the previous night, stirring me strongly. "You're going to make me come," I said softly. I felt that enveloping closure around my cock, not warm precisely, but blocking the coolness of the room. The crown of my head was being teased, my shaft stroked. I felt the end approaching and watched. I came hard, grunting, and saw my cum disappearing. Rope after rope I expelled, only to watch it immediately fade away. The stroking continued for a brief moment longer, and then, to my amazement, my cock was tucked back into my boxers. "Why?" I asked the empty room. I didn't really expect an answer, and I didn't get one. Once it started, it only got worse. I was marginally more useful at work and was able to complete a customer visit without fucking up too badly. I was making slow progress on the house, sometimes speaking to Bev and Karen on the phone while working. I didn't mention my late night visitor, of course. I didn't believe it. How could they? I went back to sleeping naked.
That's hard as fuck out here.
What?
Wait, what? What was that?
I went back
He
to
said he had to go
sleep.
change his pants.
I went back to sleeping naked and found that if I made myself available when I got into the bed, my spectral friend would go to work right away. The feelings were intensifying, the stroking more pronounced. I imagined it was a mouth finishing me and felt the reaction more intensely. I could feel suction. The tingling was as strong as ever, but the motion had a more physical element. Each time I came, I was still surprised to find myself clean and dry afterward. The release was exhausting and leaving me cold and trembling, yet frighteningly satisfied.
Damn, that boy got some stamina to, like, just, keep going after that? Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
My
What?
visitor...
Am I the only one, thinking about that?
My visitor was becoming greedier, and I was waking most nights to another erection being tended to. I experimented with staying in bed in the morning, stroking myself, and quickly found my helper was willing to take over for me. A steaming hot shower afterward took care of any lingering effects. By the time the weekend
Sounds
arrived...
just like a dingus butler. I'm confused.
You gotta read the whole story
The
to find
haunted
out.
thing is. Oh! That just scared the fuck out of me. Holy shit.
By the time
Damn
the
it.
weekend arrived, I considered myself lucky. All the stories I'd heard about ghosts or spirits had never hinted at this. No eerie noises, no furniture clattering, no strange footsteps, just a willing sex buddy, with the singular goal of getting me off. Now, was that really so bad?
No.
And that's the end of that excerpt.
Well, alright. It's very confusing.
I want more.
Jeez, I know you
I
want
feel
more.
like
Jesus Christ.
I feel like if a ghost can swallow like what was it like 7 buckets of just
Jesus.
like we have no excuse anymore.
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
it's not spooky story. It's something weird story.
I'm gonna have
It's
to
not a
text him
scary
about
story.
this.
It's erotic horror. Not just horror.
I mean,
It's
I'm
scary
not very
because
scared.
it's like, it's a ghost dingus spotlight, but you can't see it.
I mean, I think the only, like I said, the only scary thing to me is just the fact that he can just like come buckets and just like no fucking problem. Like goddamn.
It's like turning on the faucet.
Take
Jesus
me
Christ.
now, Craig. I just now
It's like
tuned
1,
back
2,
into
3,
my
4,
stream.
5,
Oh
Mama number
no.
5. God damn. Yeah, what the fuck?
You're right. Jesus Christ.
I will gladly send you an online copy of this novel upon request.
I just want to find out what happens at the end. Like, is it a ghost?
Maybe it is.
And where does it go?
On his cock, apparently.
Yeah, when does it... Well, I know the ghost goes in, but Jesus Christ, like... When does the bodily fluids go?
Maybe
Where does that
Exactly.
go?
Maybe we give one more
Just the
excerpt.
ghost?
One more excerpt.
Is it going to answer my question, though?
I'm
Okay,
looking
but,
for the
but does
excerpt
the
that
ghost
may.
only like suck him off, or do they like actually like does he like have ghost sex?
They have the ghost sex. Remember, it just...
Holy shit!
Oh,
You gotta think
Wait, but
about
how
it.
does he know where to go?
She does
those
it.
ghost babies.
She does it. There's 2 Violets now.
Oh,
Oh.
oh my god, it's the ghost!
That's
Oh,
the
no.
ghost
Is that
lady
the
right
ghost?
there.
Oh my god, it's the ghost!
Right.
That's fucking scary.
Poor girl, the voice hit her so hard
Is the cloaking
she
the cloning
multiplied.
people's...
I had to excuse myself.
Jesus.
You get one more excerpt. I'm hoping we can answer some questions.
No, right. Let's hear it.
Let me find the right one.
Is
Take
it
your
the
time.
ghost sex one?
Like, I'm really, really hoping it's the ghost sex one, because I really want to know how that works. Like, does he just like sit there and just like cowgirl style, or like what the fuck happens?
What
So
if this
the
guy is just
dealio
really
is-
like
And
creative and imaginative, and he feels like that's what's going on, but it's not?
she seems to actually be gaining some form of, I guess, power or spectral presence based upon his release. Now, I don't know the science behind it because the story doesn't go into it, but essentially, the more she takes from
Does
him,
she?
the more real she becomes. The more of you.
So she
or-
becomes the buckets of cum.
No, she does
Yes.
not.
I mean, that
Makes
would be the
perfect
only answer to
sense.
where it all goes.
She's stealing his life force.
She's becoming his life force. That's exactly what it is.
Small one back. Small ending excerpt for a
Oh, what the
good
hell?
cliffhanger.
What?
Wait.
For fuck's sake, did you both
Wait.
excuse yourselves?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
You're,
Oh
your
no, the
doppelganger has
cloaking the
man
cloning
face.
people's...
You have a
This is,
doppelganger too.
I know, it's my friend.
I don't like it.
So we fast forward a couple of weeks, and he's now used to this presence. He's enjoying it. But he does have questions. Questions that need answered. This is
Well,
so
we got
weird.
questions that need answers too.
Well, time to do some reading. But one last excerpt for you all before I send you on your way. Or you hang out for a bit, who knows? Anyone got a fishing rod?
Wait,
We can...
what if she's like ugly as hell? Like, what if
She
the ghost's
ain't.
like face gum? Is just
Well, how do you know that?
'Cause I
yeah,
read
maybe
the-
she has like a big ass nose.
I did the audio reading for this book, so I've actually read it. And she pretty.
Well, listen.
Is she
Well,
like
what
an
else
Angelina
comes
Jolie?
along with it?
All right.
Like,
Fine.
is that all they're doing? Is in like you have to tend to her ghost needs?
Final excerpt.
Does she like ghost clean the house?
She does not.
I mean, that sounds like a good deal to me.
So I leaned back, sipping a beer, and let her pleasure me. The warmth was there, the sliding pressure, the gentle movement. I lasted a couple of minutes, completed another orgasm that left me dry, got dressed, and proceeded to work on the upstairs. My new date... Where'd she go? We're missing one now.
I'm here.
Okay.
Don't stop.
All right. Okay.
Jesus.
My new daily routine had me putting on a robe for dinner, getting my spectral blowjob, working a few hours on the house, getting another one after my evening shower, waking to another in the middle
She
of the
doesn't
night,
clean the house.
and starting the day right with yet another. I didn't understand it. There was something about her touch that brought me to near instant readiness. It seemed no matter how often I came, she could always get me ready for more. I was talking to her now, not getting any response other than the usual touch or caress. I had finished framing all the rooms upstairs, installed the wiring, and was starting to put up the walls. I expected that by the end of the weekend I'd have 2 of the rooms finished on the inside. I was leaving the plumbing and hallway walls open until I got my electrician to sign off on the wiring. Most of each paycheck went for more things for the house. Other than gas and food, I had few expenses. I was pleasantly exhausted, relaxed, the fire keeping the room toasty, the covers pulled aside. It was late, after 1 a.m., and my friend was in a hurry. I was barely in the bed before I felt her touch. I chuckled, getting comfortable. "We can go twice in a row if you'd like," I said. She worked me through the first one pretty quickly. I groaned my release and was surprised to feel her touch moving up my body. Looking down, I could see the sparse hairs on my chest moving as the caress continued upward. It advanced to my neck and across my cheeks until it seemed my face was being held. I moaned as a faint pressure descended upon my lips, a gentle touch opening them, an incredibly sweet and visible kiss. My erection had returned, and I groaned as I felt her touch down there. A renewed pressure enveloping me, invisible lips still grazing mine. It started moving, and my hips responded automatically. "God, that feels good, Mary," I groaned. As quickly as that, all sensation
when did she get a name?
disappeared.
Mary Jane?
Hold on.
The old lady?
Wait.
As quickly as
is
that, all the sensation
it is.
disappeared. I was left with an aching heart-on and a fear that my words had frightened my friend off. I was stunned for a moment.
Oh no.
The haze that enveloped me during my visitation slower to disappear than her touch. There's your excerpt.
Oh,
The entire
told you.
time he's been banging Mary Jane, the old lady. That's what happened to her in the
Yeah,
end.
see look, listen, I just told Tracy that maybe after she killed her husband or whatever the hell happened there, and she died, maybe she was looking for more. I asked Tracy if maybe this ghost was a hoe or something like that.
Now, the old owners of the house, the ones that originally built it, was a man and a woman, eventually a child. Forget the man's name, but the woman's name happened to be Mary. Story behind Mary's: the house caught fire, and she was forced to jump.
Oh,
oh Jesus.
Easy there, Reg. And the story is that instead of burning to death, she opted to jump out the 3rd floor window to her death. And she died there that night. Calls her Mary, she disappears. Sounds juicy to me.
Well, goddamn.
Just saying.
I mean, that seems like a
Wow.
very cummy situation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
yeah, what
Yes.
was that, Tracy?
A what?
One love. Shit. That's all I got. That's all your excerpt. Time to go read the
Oh
book.
no, that's